So I'm going to do a quick video today on how to make this zipper here. So this is for pockets rather than a closure zipper. I will show you a way of just attaching the lining and the exterior fabric separately, and that's how we'll sew the bottom part of the half of the zipper, and then I'll show you sewing all three layers at the same time with the top one, which saves an extra step. So that's how I normally choose to do it. I hope you find it useful. So the pattern I'm following is the Bag of the Month pattern, the Ravenwood Messenger Bag by Betts White. In this pattern there is a zipper that goes along the top of these front pockets as a sort of like an external pocket. And the way that that zipper goes, it's a 14-inch one, and then I've literally just sewn some little tabs just to elongate that zipper without having to catch these ends. So that kind of tidies it up and makes it easier to sew for you. So I didn't film that particular bit, but as you can see, it goes quite close to the zipper pull, but not through the metal bits, and the same with the bottom. So attaching this is going to be pretty simple. There's nothing to be afraid of when sewing the zippers. You will just need to make sure you have your zipper foot on the machine and then follow the instructions of your particular pattern. Zipper pulls should always be on the left, so I'm going to have mine this way around, and I will have a bit of excess off the end. That's kind of part of the perks of having these zipper tabs on there. I can trim them off later, and I'm not going to have the worry that the zip that I chose was too short or too long. Normally when making a bag you would layer the zipper, so this would go right side down against the outer fabric, and then you would place the lining fabric over the top so that when you opened it up it would go to the inside of the bag. This is actually constructed a little bit different, so I'm going to show you how easy it is to sew a zipper in anyway, and that they're not that scary. Zipper feet come in different looks and shapes and sizes. I actually have an option of 2 on my machine. There's this very narrow foot which will double up as a zipper foot. That's the one I'm going to choose to use. Or my machine has like this adjustable zipper foot. So that would go this way around. So your foot might have like a little notch out of each side. For my other machine, so not for this machine, this is what the zipper foot looks like. So there's that notch either side that I mentioned. So yours might just look a little bit different to mine, but it'll work in the same way. This tape on my machine is just my 1/4 inch mark, so don't worry too much about that. This pattern is a 1/4 inch pattern. It uses a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way through. So I'm going to work out where my zip is central, with the tabs hanging off the edge equally. And then you can pin it in place if you like. I'm probably just going to pin the middle. And the zipper is right sides down, so right sides together facing the outer fabric. And then what I'm going to do is start stitching it from this edge with my 1/4 inch seam allowance, because generally speaking it'll be around a 1/4 edge from the zipper teeth to the edge of the zipper, so you're usually safe with a 1/4 inch. I am going to open the zipper just slightly, just to give me some more room to work with, and then as I sew up to the zipper pull I can zip it back up again, and then I'll be free to go all the way back down. I'm at the pull now, so I'm just going to lift my foot up so that I can pull that zipper pull back up to the top. This can be a little bit awkward, but there it goes. Foot back down, and I'm ready to keep on going. And that's the first half done. This particular pattern wants me to sew the lining in after I've sewn the zipper to the pouch. Another way of kind of cutting a corner would be to layer the lining with the zipper sandwiched in between, and that's how most patterns do it. So you'd have your outside fabric facing upwards, then you'd have your zipper facing right sides together with the outside fabric, and then you'd have the lining facing right sides together to the outer fabric. So it goes exterior up, zipper down, lining down. This particular pattern suggests to sew them separately, and I'm just going to follow the pattern because I've not made this bag before. So when I sewed the zipper to the front of the bag, I used a 1/4 inch seam allowance. This time I want to make sure that I get just a little bit closer to the teeth, just for that neatness on the inside when I sew my lining on. Alright, so that's stitched on already, and you could have actually used a basting stitch at this point if you wanted to, just to kind of speed things up through the machine. But I'm going to make sure that my lining fabric is right sides together with my exterior fabric, but also so that it meets in the corner. It's the same length, so that little bit of red will stick out at the same amount either side. And again, you can pin it if you like. And I'm just sewing it just over a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So once again, you want to move that zipper pull out of the way, just for a bit, and then get as close to the zipper teeth as you can. You'll be able to kind of feel them through the fabric, and your foot won't let you go into the teeth either, it'll just butt up as close as it can. I'm actually going to find it easy to get rid of this. And then when you get to your zipper pull, you're going to just pull that zipper up like we did before. The needle is down at this point, by the way, so that this isn't flopping all over the place. And I can feel all the teeth are just here. So now when you flip it over, you should have no stitches showing in that zipper pull at all, which we don't. And then your back, you'll have a nice finished back without showing any of the zipper tape. So that's how you would get the first piece on, the first side of the zipper on. This is where you would press it, unless you've got a really cheap zipper, in which case you've got to be careful so you don't want your teeth to melt on your zip. And then you would top stitch along there, and that will just keep that lining where it should, so it's not going to interfere with the zip. And also the front fabric isn't going to come over the top, it just keeps it nice and neat. So I tend to top stitch as I go, just to keep things tidy. Your top stitching can also be done with the zipper foot still attached, especially since your next step will be to attach the other side of the zipper. So you don't want to be changing your foot all of the time. One good thing is you don't actually need to move the zipper pull out of the way when you're using the zipper foot on the top stitching. Time to attach the top. Now I'm going to show you how you would do the all-in-one version. So this is the outer fabric that's going at the top of here. So I'm going to flip it so that the right sides are together, your zipper is facing upwards, and you can pin if you want, but you also need to bear in mind the lining. Now this is going to join up with the other side of my pocket, so I need it to be right side up. So the zipper in this particular case is on the bottom, facing upwards. You've then got your outer fabric facing downwards, and then wrong sides together with the other lining piece. And that's just so that when you sew it, this side will flip up like this, and this side will go around to the back and will face towards the other piece of lining that we already have, so it will create a pocket. Sometimes it's kind of hard to kind of figure out which way around things need to go. Usually the patterns are very good, but if you kind of try and visualize where it's all going to go once it's stitched and kind of flip it if you need to, that's really helpful. So let's layer that again. Zipper facing up, outer fabric facing down. I'm just going to be careful how I position this. and then lining. Again, because this is a directional print, I just have to be a little bit careful how this is going to go. Right side up, and I also need, because it's a text fabric, I need the writing the right way up as well. And to align it, I'm using the previous panel just to see where the edges are. And because there are a few layers there, you can clip it or you can pin it. And this is just to make sure that the layers don't shift. Let's go for it. So in this particular pattern it says to sew the top together and then sew the lining like I did with the first part, but let's go for trying to sew all of these layers together. Then you don't have to worry about making sure that your second line of stitches stays within the line of the previous one. We can just go for it. And again, we've got this zipper pull to contend with, needle down, foot up. Flip the fabric out of the way. Let's pull it down a little bit further. And then we're going to put it back again. So now when we open it, that's going to flip round. That will flip up. So the back looks like this now. So our right sides are together. I know I got the print cut wrong on this particular piece, and that's just because I ran out of fabric. And the front's the right way around. Thanks for watching. Got a nice finished zipper on this. You've got your top stitching on there. You know now how to move the zipper pull out of the way, and you also know to make sure when it's closed that it's on the left hand side. And as you can see, now I have a pocket. Just off camera, I just basted the stitches down at the sides and the bottom, just because I'm going to be adding another piece to the bottom, and that's actually what will close the zipper pocket off. If you're making a pocket inside a lining, normally what would happen is you would sew those edges of the lining together, and you would make more of a pocket where you cut out a window and push it through. So there's so many different ways of using zippers. This is one of the easiest ones, so this is a good one to start with. I will try and remember to document other zippers that I put in just for this series, just to show you the different types, but they're all pretty much the same thing. As long as you've got the right foot and you take it easy and you don't get stressed and you remember to pull that pull out the way, it should stay nice and straight, and you should not have any wobbles in there. And you should be able to get something nice and straight like this. And I didn't really pin very much, so if you feel more confident, add in more pin. But I'm pretty happy with that.